wasn't like, I'm Microsoft Copilot. How can I help you? But it was more like hello, my apologies. I'm Microsoft Copilot. I was at an AI party. Y'all, the computer was at a party and it didn't invite me. Like, I don't go to people parties and I'm fine with that. But like an AI party, I haven't been to one of those. Like, that sounds fun. I want to do cocaine with Siri. I want to watch ChatGPT slapbox Alexa. Like, that would be neat. You guys have been fun. My name is Hunter White. You can find me on the internet at My Name is Hunter or on Wednesday at The Mix. Shout out.
There you go.
Keep it going for Sunda.
Okay, so we have a little situation going on technically? Yeah?
Trying to do smooth, like just have Mark go up, we gotta talk, but whoever you want, we still gotta talk.
You know what? Are we recording?
Yes.
All right, so we have a show going on. It's live, like I said to you guys that are looking. Decades is coming and it doesn't stop like this, but we got this. We got this. And right now, I think I'm going to bring up America's Sweetheart, just because he's trying to fall asleep on me. Okay, but suppose I can't get you off of me. All right, let's give it up for the one and only Mr. Mark Zafford, America's Sweetheart. Don't you fall on there stage.
Oh, dear. Let's discuss health care. The reason we're discussing healthcare is I hear a lot of shit coming out of a lot of mouths about, universal healthcare and healthcare being a right, and usually out of people like Bernie Sanders and Sonny Hostin. However, it's not going to change one major factor, and this is what happened. Here I am minding my own business, and my wife comes running and telling me that Larry in our building had a psychotic episode. They rushed him to St. John's Santa Monica Hospital, and we went to visit him, and it wasn't pleasant. They had him in, first thing I do when I get there, they have him in restraints, and they have a catheter in him. Now, there is nothing a man doesn't want more than a catheter. Think about what they're doing. They're sticking something in your Johnson in order to make you pee. And it wasn't even working with him. And then we checked all his medications, and he had 30 pills. So we'll get to that in a moment, because the cast of characters kind of emerges from the woodwork. Here we go, and we're Sunda's the only one listed, and they tell us, he's going to have to go to rehab. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Are they sending him to mental rehab or physical rehab? Because Lord knows the man walks 10 miles a day up and down Wilshire Boulevard. There's no question he can walk. He can talk, and he's kind of compos mentis at most times, all right? So, comes Thursday, and we find out that they took him out of the hospital. They took him to a nursing home in Pomona. Has anybody here ever been in Pomona?
Anybody?
What goddamn reason would I have to want to travel 1 hour and 20 minutes in case this man needs a toothbrush? All right. So our healthcare system, all right, moved him to Pomona. Now, of course, there's no question in my mind there was a little capitalism involved, because I'm pretty sure that the social worker, who shall remain nameless because I don't know who she is, got paid off. Well, the reason I can say that with authority is 40 years in the nursing home business. I know how it works. Anyhow, here we walk into this place, and everybody's getting nervous. Now, all these people are coming out of the woodwork on texts. Oh, we're Larry's chiropractors. Oh, we're his therapists. We're his psychiatrists. I'm his this. I'm thinking to myself, I knew who his primary care guy was. Where all these other people come from? Turns out he goes to 3 chiropractors a day because his back hurts. All right. He goes to a psychiatrist only because the psychologist can't prescribe, and they got him on 2 different types of antidepressants. And when you add up all his medication in one shot, it's a mess. Why is it a mess? Well, partially because the lack of primary care physicians, because we don't let them make enough money. But we'll get to that at some other point. All right. The interesting thing was, we get there, and I look around and I said, we drive into the back, and it says, so-and-so behavioral facility. This place had a nursing home in front. I guarantee you they were deteriorating these people and get them in for another 24 days in the behavioral facility. All right, pick up a quick month. But the truth was, this man was kidnapped. He was. He was kidnapped by the healthcare system. I had to walk in there, pretty sure that I intimidated the poor Filipinos that were working the desk. I looked at him and I said, you know, he isn't under disability, he isn't in a court order. He's leaving. This place was disgusting. It looked like 30 retired nuns sitting around. There is nothing scarier than a retired nun. Anyhow, think about that. The point is, all these people who like to bloviate, that means you, Sonny, and Bernie, and of course AOC, all talk about universal health care. Under universal health care, Larry, right, would have only been in the hospital for 3 days. He wouldn't have gotten treated, and they still would have shipped him off to a nursing home well away from his house. Because you don't get very much choice. And I thought about it, and I realized the scary part is he's a multimillionaire on Medicare with nobody to protect him. Think of that very carefully next time you want to go to the doctor. Be very careful of them. Larry got kidnapped. At a St. John, beautiful place, St. John's, by the way. Everybody has a private room. Not a single nurse knows what she's doing, and they all run away when you ask them a question. Couldn't see any nurses. Lord knows, forget finding a doctor. The doctor's going to say, well, you know, Larry was very loud, so I had to move him to the nursing home. How much did you get paid off, motherfucker? So then they tell us they're going to move him to another nursing home. I said another nursing home, still by Chino Hills in Pomona. They're going to move him to a Provident nursing home because Provident Healthcare runs St. John's. And they wanted to put him into their own nursing home, and they went, oh, we made a mistake. We didn't rip him off more. But they did manage to lose every bit of clothing he has. I know that nurse is running around in his Prada shirt and his Prada shoes. I know they stole every bit of clothing he has because this man, they're telling him, we're not going to let you go unless you put on fresh underwear. Well, motherfucker, he would have had fresh underwear if you didn't steal his clothes. You know, it's funny. It's scary, you know. All right, this isn't very funny. Have you know it isn't funny. If we want to go funny, I'll play this week's installment of The View. That was funny. All right? I mean, Trump is going to stand. So Elon Omer, not my favorite person, wearing her turban, you know, USAID fed me when I was a child. I was thinking to myself, maybe if we didn't have USAID when you were a child, you wouldn't be here now to bother us. I really did think that because I didn't want to starve her. It's not like the cask of Amontillado. For the love of God, Montresor. No, I don't want to wall her up somewhere and starve her. I just want to, you know, have her disappear. You know? Now, somebody here mentioned Luigi. Now, how many of us, and don't lie, get on the phone with our insurance company and want to strangle the woman at the other end? It's just, you know, it's guilt by association, all right? This man became a folk hero because of our frustrations. Because I had to call up one day and say, why are you not paying me for my emergency root canal? They tried to tell me that their cost for a root canal is $600. They wanted to pay me back $100. I said, but it cost me $5,000. So if it cost me $5,000 and I couldn't find anybody else for $5,000, the usual and customary cost for a root canal in Manhattan, New York City, is $5,000. The only other place you're going to get it cheaper is at the medical school. All right? Now, that's terrifying. Now, I also found out then that root canal is really a lot of crap. It's no big deal. They put you back, they give you a shot, they drill a little bit. What's the big deal? Everybody complains. It's like having a root canal. I didn't see the big deal. I was having a great time talking science fiction with the assistant until he came in. I mean, what was the big deal with a root canal? My wife's been complaining about root canals for years and sending me the bills. And on top of it, she had an emergency double root canal. That was $7,500. Not pleasant, our healthcare system. But you know Robert F. Kennedy really isn't going to be in charge. He's meaningless. His sole job is to stand there and look foolish and make big pronouncements. The guy that's really going to be in charge of healthcare in America is Dr. Oz, because he's going to be running CMS. And on that note, just remember that the Congress people have their own little hospital set up there in the capital and get free health care. So when Bernie and AOC start complaining about the health care system, it's another thing that they're detached from America for, because they just run over to Walter Reed for private congressional rooms, paid for by you and I. Thank you. And they have their own barbers, by the way. You ever wonder how these senators have beautiful hair? They get it cut every day for free on your dime.
But Biden didn't.
Well, let's not discuss Joe. I understand Joe just signed with what's the name? The agency run by the Emanuels? CAA. Wouldn't the Democratic king, Rahm Emanuel's brother, the other Ari Emanuel, whatever his name is, sign Joe? What is Joe going to do? Is he writing a book? Is he going to make speeches? Or is he going to give back all the money him and Hunter stole? Thank you.
Now that would be nice. I want to thank everybody who's watching, and we did have something happen with our production here. And that can't happen again. And I'm just so sorry, but it's not going to happen again. At least people are watching and complaining to me. That's what they like to do. You know that. That's what my friends do. They say, when are you going to come back to Jersey so we can have fun? So much fun. Where am I going to go half naked now? I'll catch pneumonia. He's telling you the whole Larry thing, man. He's not even telling you like it is, okay? He's just not. Larry was like, he was having an episode, and he had no shoes on. He's looking for his parents, and I knew it was just an episode. And I don't like the guy at the front desk because he keeps saying Happy Tuesday to me. On Monday, on Wednesday, Jews can't whisper. They can't keep a secret. They tell their business. They tell your business. I just thought I would do that so to explain to everybody what happened today. I'm not working. You know, I wonder why people think I do everything here. I'm not doing the comedy and the hosting and the computer. I was going to say, and the coffee machine, but I'm not going to say that because, you know, my mother-in-law tried to kill me with one. She put the beans in and left the top off. And they went and started hitting me like bullets. And she said, oh, I made a mistake. And I said to him, she's trying to kill me. Kept saying no, but look, I'm not wrong. All right, who knows? He says, she says. I want the comedy of Billy Ramirez. Come on, let's do this.
Billy.
General.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Billy Ramirez, and Mark makes me look forward to being a cranky old man. It looks fun, but for now, I have to be an annoyed middle-aged muchacho, which is a little nickname that I give myself to cope with the fact that I'm getting old and dying. Is anyone else getting old and dying? Yeah, woo. Middle age is strange because I'm not yet an old man, but I will be. And that's all the stage is. Just get ready to be an old man. And there's a few ways that I'm trying to become an old man, trying to transition. Like one is at 43 years old, I have to make concessions about my body. That like, yeah, I've never been athletic, but I'm definitely not athletic now. Like that's some things are out of the question. Like for example, if I were presented with the opportunity right now at 43 years of age. If I were presented with the opportunity to, if I were presented with this opportunity, I know with 100% certainty that I would have to pass it up because I know that if I try to outrun a fat cop, it's going to end tragically. Because for sure, if I outrun a fat cop, I'm going to blow out an ACL, MCL, PCH, WNBA, what have you, TV, VCR combo. Just to show you how old I am. An AM, FM. All right. See, another way that I'm trying to get used to the fact that I'm going to be an old man soon is my sheer and outright refusal to learn how to text using any sort of shorthand or slang. I refuse to do so. For me, it's proper grammar and punctuation or nothing. And that includes the Oxford comma. Now, I don't do that just because I'm getting old. I do it mostly to show off my communication degree. Because I certainly don't show off my communication with, with where I live, with what I drive, my career, anything like that. So I have to show it off in other ways. Like, I don't know if you remember an old episode of The Simpsons. Came out a long time ago. They're all old now. They're on like season 75. But this episode came out about 20 years ago when I was embarking on my journey towards my so lucrative communication degree. And in this episode, the kicker for Springfield University injures his leg in the big rivalry game. And in the locker room, Dr. Julius Hibbert tries to comfort him, and he tells him, "Oh, I'm afraid you'll never play football again. At least you can fall back on your degree in communications." Oh, dear Lord, no. And the kicker goes, "Yes, I know he's a funny major. Lubchenko will learn nothing." Well, that joke is funny to me again, because it is said that comedy is tragedy plus time, and, well, enough time has passed, and the tragedy is a communication degree. Let's see. I was talking to my brother earlier this weekend. We were reminiscing over some stories, and one interesting story came up. It's been about 35 years now, and it was about the time when all of us in my immediate family, we got violently ill off of Neapolitan ice cream from Grocery Outlet, and we all got, violently ill. And then once I and my dad felt better, we went back to the store to return the remaining Neapolitan ice cream, and then I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but I do remember the manager reaching out and grabbing the rest of the rotten Neapolitan ice cream and telling my dad, quote unquote, "I'm going to send this back to the lab." And this conversation with my brother reminded me that we never heard back from the lab. And also, I'm pretty sure that Grocery Outlet, the discount grocery store, doesn't have a goddamn lab. Like, that's what an elaborate lie just to save 49 cents worth of Neapolitan ice cream. Also, the fact that it was 49 cents is probably the reason why we all got so very, very sick. Let's see. What else? So I speak Spanish. Yo hablo español. ¿Qué pasa, hijo de la chingada? I like to, sometimes I don't like to show it off, because then I can remain an undercover Latino. I love being an undercover Latino. Like, in office environments, basically in every environment. That's how I get my cheese mail. You know, my dirt, my dish is just don't tell anyone that I understand Spanish, and then all of a sudden everyone just starts dishing. And, like, for example, I once got free guacamole because of a waiter called me a pendejo, because he apparently I was sat in the wrong place and I was in his way, and he called me a pendejo, and then I tattled on him and got free guacamole. But really, for free guacamole, you can tell me any name under the sun. I don't know about puto, pendejo, whatever. Let's see. Actually, now that I told you that I hablo español, I have a piece of trivia for you about the band Maroon 5. So check this out. Did you know that the band Maroon 5 has a different name in Latin American countries? Yeah, that's right. In Latin American countries, Maroon 5 is known as Cinco Pendejos. And that's true because I saw it on Wikipedia when I put it there. What's that? Another band joke? Sure. How about this one? You know, my favorite thing about the band Mumford & Sons is that we know exactly who to blame. All right, I'll do another band joke. This is the band suite. Let's see. So my first job out of college was working for Drum Magazine up in San Jose, California, and it was a fun job. I got to meet all my favorite drummers, try cool gear, go to cool shows, and if there's one drawback was the horrible pay. Who knew that a tiny niche magazine out of San Jose, California doesn't pay that much? But also my main nitpick was my boss. He was all right, but he could have a temper, and like this temper would blow up sometimes. He was called the Bruiser, a little short 5'2", the Bruiser. All right, ever. Anyways, but like this temper bubbled up one time when he took me to go see a band called POD. I don't know if you remember this band called POD. They had a hit with Alive and some other, I don't know, whatever. But after the show, my boss and I went to go have beers, and at some point he thought I was ignoring him, so he threw a beer at me. And I've realized that now it's been about 15, almost 20 years, and my boss has still yet to apologize for taking me to that goddamn concert. Really, POD, they suck. Whatever. I wrote that a long, long time ago. This might be one of the first jokes I ever wrote. Anyways, let's see what else. One of my favorite things about living in LA is that I get to show off my Espanol. Like, when I do decide to come out of hiding and reveal myself to be an actual Latino and an undercover Latino, I like to show off my Spanish. And I just go completely overboard. I just cannot resist. Like, for example, whenever I go to a taqueria and I hear, did you see that? Taqueria. I didn't say taqueria. When I hear someone at a taqueria order something like a chicken quesadilla, chicken fajitas, chimichanga, something like that. Because when it's my turn to order, I just cannot resist just auditioning for telenovela that nobody's shooting. Just all of a sudden, it's just, ¿qué tal, preciosa? It could be night in the suns of my eyes. And it could be a dude, too. Señor Preciosa. Señor Preciosa. En este momento yo deseo 2 tacos de carne asada, una torta de jamón, una peñafiel. Gracias, por favor, muy amable. Buen provecho, que Dios te bendiga. And then when I'm feeling confident, I'll throw in some bonus words. Entonces, por supuesto, Crepúsculo. The problem is I have this face and demeanor, so sometimes I order in fluent Spanish, and then in return I'll get a, okay, do you want, hijo de tu puta madre? Fine, sir, I will have some of that green whack-a-mole, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever. I know what it is. It's guacamole. But anyways, I go completely overboard when I do decide to come out of hiding as an undercover Latino. And basically, I go from undercover Latino to Latino reporter, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Pay attention to any... first of all, watch the news. I don't know if anyone still watches the news or if the news still exists. But actually, they do exist. We were just talking about all those sassy ASL translators. They're so, during the wildfires in LA, they were so freaking sassy. I love those. Anyways, but yeah, come to think of it, I feel like I just betrayed my Mexican heritage. I didn't watch Univision or Telemundo. None of those, Las Lumbres, whatever. Anyways, but those news still have reporters, so pay attention to any reporter whose last name ends in EZ. And there's a pretty good chance that reporter is going to take any and every chance to celebrate the rich cultural tapestry of the Spanish language. And that's how I hablo español, like a Latino reporter wrapping up a segment. Something like, police don't have any further information on the suspect. Reporting live from El Camino Real in Santa Clara. This is Gustavo Gutierrez, el mero más chingón, tú sabes, güey, for ABC 7 News. Back to you, Nancy. Thank you, that's my time. My name is Billy Ramirez. You can find me at billyramirez.com. Please. What? Oh, I'm not gonna. Oh, wait. Who's that? Wait, hold. Who goes there? Oh, dang! Dove. Yeah. Anyways, you're just in time to see the hilarious comedy of the one and only. He has permission to be here, Mr. Lee Schwartz.
Yes, Lee Schwartz.
Thank you. Great introduction. I really appreciate it. Very from the warmth. I can feel it. Thank you. I just want to tell you, Sunda, I got to tell you how it all happened, how I found you, okay? I just want to do an open mic, Google you, and once I saw Black Jewish, you had me at Black Jewish. That was seriously, you had me at Black Jewish. That was it. I looked you up, and I don't know where I found that actually, but anyway, I had to say that. Yeah, I had to say that because I had to meet someone like that. I never met someone like that. And then you met the sister. And then I met everybody. Yeah, but see, that worked out. But I just think generally, everyone has things that doesn't work out. You think it's going to work out, and it doesn't work out. I realize that just happens to me way too much. It feels like every day, honestly. Today was no exception. I do part-time work at a college, and my job is disability students, to welcome them to the college, show them around, and then finish off with take them for an ice cream. You know, it's a nice thing. They get the local college flavor, the local hangout. So all was going well, and in line, and he gets his ice cream, goes off to the side, sits down. My turn. I get, gonna get my ice cream, and I'm about to get it, and this guy out of nowhere, he really steps in front of me. And, he's on his way to the window, but I step in front of him because it's my turn. And I say, excuse me, sir, it is my turn. I was in line at that line over there. And there was no line where you were. And he said, yeah, there were. I've been there for a while. And I said, there's only one line. And he said, I'm going to get my ice cream. Step aside. And he gets out his wallet. And I said, I was here first. And at this point, talks have failed. This is over. And I'm going to have to do action because I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let him through. And, it's do or die a little bit right now. And I see red. It gets really going now. And red. And I wanted red sherbet really bad. And I say to myself, either I fend him off and don't let him get to that window. It's a little window. Or I have to go to the back of the line. That's all I saw. And this is not going to happen. He's not going to get by me. So I decided, turned around, looked at the little window, and I figured if I go quick to the window fast, I can block him, and there's no way he can get in. And I win. I got him. And I do. And I get there. I get him right in the window, and the lady's there. And then, but I look over, and I realize my student is right there. He's just looking at the entire thing, almost like a shoving match between his counselor to get an ice cream. And then I realize, I get composed, and I let him go, and I feel resignation but I have to stay cool because he's right over there, my student. And but I couldn't resist saying just a little bit under my breath. I did say, "Hope you enjoy your ice cream." And I went over and I'm like, I got to do damage control with the student, and I said, "Listen, these things happen. You're gonna run into these things. Adults sometimes fight. They need to resolve situations, and it'll happen to you. It'll happen. And yes, it may have looked like it was heated, and I maybe lost my cool a little bit, and then he was just looking at me. He's probably going to run away, never go to this college. And I quickly just changed the subject. Is your mom coming? Yeah. Okay. All right. Go over there. And then I just had him sit, and I tried to cool down, and I walked away, and I thought, wow, this did not... I felt bad, for the whole thing causing this. And I regretted the fact that, I didn't get that ice cream. And I would have got the ice cream if he wasn't there. I would have got it. He ruined it because alone, I was there. I had it. I had that ice cream. I did. And, he would have walked away empty-handed. I had him. And then I was walking away and thinking, yeah, it didn't work at all. At all. I didn't get my ice cream, and probably the student's going to report me for seeing his counselor fight with a customer over an ice cream. That'll be the end of, who knows what'll happen if that. He'll not come to the college. No chance. But who cares? I didn't get my ice cream. That was the thing. I did have it. I really had it. He was right there. I beat him, hands down. I beat him. He gets to enjoy the ice cream. So that's the thing. It didn't work out. That happens. I understand that. I don't know what he got. I think it was Rocky Road. I don't care. I hope he just chokes on it, honestly. He was such an idiot, because he's like, step aside. He said, step aside. He had his wallet. He said, step aside. And I said, no. No. Anyway, that's what this jerk. He's like one of those obnoxious guys. And anyway, but that's just par for the course. It really, every day, it's just one thing after another. I'm used to it. I'm getting like thick-skinned, and my expectations are just low. That's all. They're just low, and that's how I deal with it. That's just me being me. And sometimes some ideas, they seem like they're really pretty good ideas. That's what my girlfriend says. They're almost really good ideas. And then they just fall apart. Because in theory, they are good ideas. Okay, I'll tell you. My car had electrical problem. Okay, the high beams would not go off. Okay, now I understood that it was getting in people's eyes, right? Well, so I put duct tape halfway up, and so it wouldn't get in people's eyes. And this was in Boston, but it's irrelevant. But so I'm driving, and a cop pulls me over, and, he looks at, he's like, what the hell is this? What did you do? What is this? And he looked around, and he said, I want you to take every piece of duct tape off this. And I said, well, then my brights will be in everybody's eyes. And he said, I'm so close to just getting your car impounded, and, I never want to see this car around ever again. Yeah, and he said, get your girlfriend to pick you up or something, or whoever. I'm not allowing you to drive. I wasn't that far from home. But it really did seem like a good idea. But it didn't work. And probably a lot of people wouldn't have thought of that, really. So that's what she says. She's like, at least you thought of it. You thought of the idea, opposed to not thinking at all of the idea. So it counts for something. Like she says, sometimes, you think up a great word and it's wonderful, but then you don't quite pronounce it properly or you don't use it properly. So you get credit for coming up with the word itself. So at least I get credit for something. That's the way it goes. I understand. Every day. Every day. Me being me. But thank you all for listening, and at least somebody does.
Get that ice cream,
Yes,
man.
ice cream.
Get that ice cream. Where can we find you?
You can find me at lee.shorts. 585 backwards and forwards. .1234.
There you go.
If you find that, you're lucky.
You get free ice cream?
You get free ice cream. You get anything you want.
Wait, is there free ice cream?
Free ice cream.
I'm here.
anything you
I'm
want.
here. You're not getting past me.
That's right.
Step aside. Step aside.
That's right.
Oh my God. Lee, you're crazy, man. You're really crazy. You know that, right? You deserve it. Or just step on his baby toe. Because what you don't know is that you need a little Addie to get going through this next act. Let's give it up for the one and only Patty.
Hey, that's right. I need some more fake enthusiasm. Can I get fake enthusiasm? You guys, and I mean this, you fake it very well. Very well. And I've been married several times, so I'm a very good judge of that. I'm not from Boston. However, I've done stand-up there, and I was in a play that ran there for like 2 years. So I know the people of Boston. What you did with the tape to offset your bright lights is exactly what someone from Boston does. It is so archetypically fucking Boston. I don't know what it is about that city. Like everybody, I don't know if you're happy, Trump was inaugurated. Okay, I can tell how you feel. So now there's two genders, and we can use the R word again for some reason, which I never used it before, but then again, I'm not from Boston. Have you ever heard someone from Boston say, retarded? It sounds kind of fucking retarded, if you ask me. And I was in Boston doing stand-up 7 weeks ago. It's very cold there. I don't know if you know. And I land, and I'd parked my car in the U Park It at LAX. And I'm driving back, and I get behind a Tesla, and it has a bumper sticker on it that says, anti-racist baby on board. Like, I'm fucking back in LA now, right? I thought to myself, I said, where are all the racist babies? And I thought to myself, Boston. Fucking Boston. Oh, what a wonderful place. What a wonderful place this is. Like, am I right? God damn it. We're so fortunate to be here on a night like tonight. And we're so fortunate to have someone like the middle-aged muchacho here. I love when people speak Spanish and it's a very proper, stand back, I'm speaking a Spanish. Because guess what? You don't fuck around with the language of Espanol. It's strict. It's strict. I was at the Muskie Pinata. Up there in Bakersfield, I was doing stand-up in the Muskie Pinata. You should go up there. I could get you a book in there. You need a bulletproof vest, though. It's in Bakersfield. And the bartender there is a guy named Carlos. And I love this guy, Carlos. Has 14 children. Fucking sexy bastard. At 14, he's a practicing Catholic, and he obviously likes to practice. So I was confused because, Trump has said there's only two genders, which... What is it, the fucking 1950s again? Come on. Two? We should have a couple more. Because it was fun for a while. It was like a sexual Build-A-Bear. I was briefly a barista sexual. That means I was only attracted to people that had difficulty spelling my name. You can take your time with that, ladies and gentlemen. That was a jokey joke for those of you that want in on that. But I asked, two genders, what exactly, where exactly, how exactly... does that leave the non-binary people off? So I asked Carlos, I said, Carlos, how do you say non-binary in Spanish? He said, well, it's non-binario or non-binaria, depending on the gender. You can woke yourself all you want. There's two fucking genders in Spanish. But here's the good news. There's many ways to say gay. Joto, puto, maricon. My personal favorite, marichocho. Marichocho. Isn't that's so cute? Marichocho. And then for top or bottom, it's activo or pasivo. There's no female tense, which in a strange way makes sense. I'm not sure. I don't want people to think I'm a homophobe, though I'm not. I think homophobics just haven't met enough homos. Because if you meet some homos, it's impossible not to adore them. I'm 100% true. I mean, I'll tell you this: if my son came out as gay, I would support him 100%, and I would secretly wish that he was a top. Hold on. Let me say so. I just would be more comfortable knowing that was the position that he was happy with. I live in Brentwood, it's full of pathetic white liberals and Persians. I don't know if you've been there. But my neighbors for the past 8 years are my gaybers. They're the best neighbors I ever had. Billy and Justin, they used to write for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I mean, just by far the best neighbors I've ever had. And they constantly leave baked goods at my front door, which is wonderful. But also... and this is a privilege, I get to have brunch once a month with them. Brunch, probably the gayest meal of all meals. People don't know that when heterosexual people go to brunch, they are culturally appropriating gay culture. Because the gays invented brunch right after Stonewall to rehab their image. I don't know if you know that, but if I could eat brunch for 3 times a day, I would brunch. I love it. And there was a conversation, because if you have a good relationship with gay folks, they're not uptight at all. You can ask them things, and I come from a very kind of conservative, very ultra-Catholic, stern type of, I'm ashamed of my body as God fucking intended. All right? And I asked a couple questions, and I found this out, and you may not be interested, but you'll find it interesting. Does that make sense? You might not be interested, but that there is a shortage of tops. There's a shortage of tops. There's not enough tops to go around. Bottom needs a top, right? That's the way it works. And I thought to myself, and this is just me thinking out loud, I'm not no ditty here. I'm not the least bit homosexual. But if I had to, I would be a top. Right? Thank you. But there's got to be some form of attraction to maintain, the old, you can't shoot pool with a rope, especially if you're doing it that way. You'd have to be very rigid and very, You know what I mean? So there's got to be some attraction from that angle, you know, to get your motor running. You know what I mean? To fire a rocket off. And, you know, I thought to myself I would probably have to. I would, you know, I thought to myself, really, this is what I literally thought to myself. It wouldn't be the first time I closed my eyes and thought of Scarlett Johansson. I could love Scarlett Johansson. I got kicked out of the Catholic Church over Scarlett Johansson because when I found out she was Jewish, I told Father McGillicuddy that Jesus wasn't my favorite Jew anymore. He'd been knocked down. Give Dove Rudnick a round of applause. He's here. Look at him in that hat. He looks like the Peaky Blinders accountant. Kind of look like a political science professor who gets a DUI on his lunch break. He's great. I love him. I love you guys. There was some ice cream talk. We were talking some ice cream has come up a couple times this evening. And there was poverty and ice cream, right? Poverty over here, ice cream over here. You know where the two meet? First of all, Big Lots. Have you been to Big Lots? Big Lots is there to remind you you're fucking poor. You know, and if you see Blue Bunny ice cream, you are fucking poor. It's like the ice cream that they serve in county facilities. It's an ice cream that has no actual ice cream in it. It's ice cream flavored stuff. Fucking blue. If you're seeing Blue Bunny, you're like any store that has Blue Bunny ice cream and Peeps and Circus peanut candies all year round. Yeah. You are you're poor. And it's there to remind you, you are fucking poor. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is true. You might find it hard to believe, but I didn't make my SAG minimum to get health coverage. There was some talk of health coverage. Well, by the way, thing about the UK, in the UK, health coverage is free, and so is Soon de Kronquist special on Prime. So yes, that's right. In the UK, these are both free, although the special is way better than the health care you'll get there. Take my word for it. I lived there before. And so I missed out and I didn't qualify to get health care. So I get all my health care at Big Lots. That's where I actually got my COVID booster there. It's the Jackson & Jackson. It's not the Johnson & Johnson. It's a knockoff. It's a Jackson & Jackson. It was developed by the late Tito Jackson and Dr. Conrad Murray. I don't know if you remember that guy. Hey, rest in peace, Tito. Was my favorite Jackson. He would wear a bowler hat. Remember him? I fucking love me some Tito. But you know, it's a value there. If you go there, you get your COVID booster. You also get an expired bottle of Afrin nose spray. You get some Hungarian Viagra, which is real good. It works, but it's a lot of paprika in it. It gave me fucking heartburn. And of course, the at-home Black & Decker anal bleaching kit. You like that? That's good. I'm looking good from behind now. I think I left that. I applied it too long because now I fart sideways. It's not how good that is. Well, listen, you guys, the few of you that are here, God bless you. I meant to say, do you scare the rednecks at the Waffle House? Because you remind me of like the cousin J.D. Vance doesn't fucking talk about. Just like an Appalachian socialist. Yeah, it's a mutual. A hillbilly Timothy Leary of sorts. Fuck yes! Can I get a fuck yes from you fuckers? Steve, that's fuck yes. All right, I got a fuck yes. Well, listen, I got to fucking go. How's that? I'm gonna bring up a man who I adore. He's my friend. He's very funny. I know you're gonna love him. I know I do. So let's get some fake enthusiasm going. Come on, let's get it for the one and only Dove Rudnick. Come on, you bastards. Keep it going. Somebody wake Mark up. Come on.
Don't wake him up.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you all. It's good to be here. So how much was the anal bleaching?
Well, it was free if you get the booster shot.
It's free. Okay.
Gift back, like when ISIS releases you, or no, PLO releases you.
I think you solved the riddle on how to make yourself more attractive from behind, right?
Absolutely.
That was the thing.
I got a mirror. I carry it with me.
Man, it's so funny. You know, I do Seriously Joking in Inglewood. I don't know, I did this show. Patty's been on the show. And we used to do the open mic after the show. And we still have an open mic, but we do it before the show now, which is better. But we used to do the open mic after the show. And anyone could go up. You know, it was an open mic. That was the whole thing. And we got this guy, and I was very particular about the night, the audience, because it's my night, and I want to make sure everyone's having a good time. But, you know, I want to also, you know, serve the community. And this guy came up who had spent 17 years in prison. I don't know what he did, but he spent 17 years in prison. And he explained that in prison, the way that they used to have sex with each other was that they would lay the porno magazine on the back of the gentleman that they were buggering. I think that's the term. I don't know what the term is. Sodomizing. Sodomizing sounds so harsh, but they were having, yeah. And I'm looking at my audience being like, holy crap. But I was like, well, this is what you get. It's seriously joking. You get an education. It was an education. Yeah. How's everyone doing? We're doing. Yeah. Anyone affected by the fires? Anyone lose any homes or anything like that? Okay. Okay. You evacuated? You good? Oh yeah. How they holding up?
They got a studio somewhere.
Jeez. Can you imagine?
My agent lost his home, and he had to evacuate to his other home.
There you go, right? Yeah, that's the thing. I grew up in LA, and fires were like just part of my upbringing. My grandparents lost their house in the fires in the early 90s, just gone. And so when it happened, I didn't quite realize how serious it was. I just kind of, because I always associated it like with rich people up in the hills, the mountains. I was like, you'd look up there and you'd be like, dang, you know, if I work hard and get a little bit lucky, maybe I too one day can lose a house in a fire. You know, I was like, dang. But yeah, no, I didn't. I felt lucky. I was actually very lucky. My sister lives in Santa Barbara, and the day it happened, you know, when the air was super smoky, she said, just get in your car and just come up. And I did. I grabbed my wife and my daughter, and we just drove up. I got work off, and we went up to Santa Barbara. It was a whole nother world up there. It was alternative reality. They were like, anyone ever hang out in Santa Barbara before? It's gorgeous, right? It's, man, superb. It's just dripping with wealth. And they were like, yeah, we don't do natural disasters here. Like, hardship, that's not our thing. Yeah, and I sort of slipped in just in this beautiful world while my city burned. Yeah, but you know, the thing is, when you face adversity, as LA has, you learn what you're about. You know, you learn you learn something about yourself. And so what I learned about myself is when the shit hits the fan, I drive to Santa Barbara. That's what I do, apparently. Bye. Yeah, but it's very interesting. Yeah, my sister, she's very wealthy. She's a wonderful person. I feel bad kind of talking about her, but she's extremely wealthy, and she sort of operates in the milieu of wealthy liberals. And I was with them for like 5 days, and they were so gracious. We went out to a beautiful house every night for dinner, actually, because we were sort of part of this whole group of people who just left LA. And but it was interesting hearing them talk, because they were talking about, at one point they got this whole conversation about the patriarchy and how oppressive the patriarchy is. And I'm looking at them, these beautiful women in their beautiful homes, overlooking the mountains, and I'm like, whatever you want to call the system and operating here, it seems to be working out pretty good for you. Like, I don't know, the patriarchy is somehow, you come out on the right end of whatever it is. Yeah, what you can do. They're very liberal. They supported Harris Walt's ticket big time. They're all donors to that campaign and hate Trump. But it's funny because they're like, it's just terrible the way that these tax cuts are going to harm the poor. It's just outrageous how much how our country's going to be screwed because of these tax cuts that we're definitely going to be taking advantage of. I'm like, you don't have to take them. You can yeah, right. You can pay as much as you want. The government will take your money. You can give the money directly to the poor. I was watching my sister complain about the tax code. I'm like, there's a wonderful nonprofit that you could support. Actually, it's called Your Brother. It'd be a great contribution. It's really awesome. Yeah. I don't know. It's been tough. Tough times. I think we all need to do things that nourish our spirit right now. Self-care. That's what I think this time is about. Taking care of ourselves, right? One thing I like to do to just kind of make myself feel better, I like to watch Yankee fans suffer. And there's hours of footage right now of fresh footage of Yankee fans who recorded themselves watching the World Series. Somebody told them this was a great idea, and let me tell you, it was a great idea. It was, oh my God, you could watch 20 hours of Yankee fans watching Freddie Freeman's Grand Slam, being like, no! So joyful. That's how I nourish my spirit. So, okay, I got the light. Is that 1 or 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Jimmy Carter passed away. It was interesting that Dave Chappelle, of all people, went on to Saturday Night Live. Did anyone see that?
Yes.
And he called him a great man. A great man because of his work regarding the Palestinians. Which was interesting because I followed the career of Carter, and I don't know how he was as a president. I was a baby. But regarding Israel and the Palestinians, he was awful. Terrible. Really bad. He embraced Hamas. Not figuratively, literally and figuratively. There was footage of him hugging the Hamas leadership. And people, because he had friends in Israel, because he had worked, and they were like, what are you doing? What's with all the hugging? And he explained, he's like, well, it's part of their culture. It's part of the culture that men they're very touchy or whatever. And I'm like, here's the thing. Just because something's part of someone's culture doesn't mean that you have to do it. You know what else is part of that culture? Hating Jews. Is it though?
Yeah. Boys are for pleasure, women are for beauty.
Really? Hamas? This is a very buggery themed set. I'm going to say it's beginning and ending with buggery. And we're bringing back that word. Buggery's a nice word. She said, what's better? There's buggery, there's sodomy. Was there a nice word for anal sex?
Backdoor loving?
Backdoor loving? Okay. I guess anal sex. It's a little clinical. Well, let's work on that, okay, guys? Let's work on that. All right.
Read his book. See what it says.
Palestine, what was it? Peace or apartheid, which was very inflammatory.
You wouldn't be surprised that he walked over there.
Well, it was inflammatory because he implied that Israel was an evil state by comparing it to an evil system. So, bye, Jimmy Carter. Seriously joking. Tomorrow night, you're all invited.
Where?
Oh, Inglewood, Miracle Theater. And you can follow me at Dove Rudnick Comedy or Seriously Joking Comedy. I'll be there. We'll be laughing. Come on through. Yeah, Jimmy Carter will not be there.
Okay.
So,
I cannot believe it. I gotta tell you, there's only one other person that my husband admires now. She's somebody from my building, and I don't know what happened, but she turned around and said, I have to tell you something. This is the fault of Jimmy Carter. And my husband said, you see?
What did she say?
This is all the fault of Jimmy Carter.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
And that's all he's ever said since I've met him. Because my grandmother was from Georgia, so she liked the Peanut Man. And then he starts with Hermas. That's funny, Hermas. Because Hermas. Hermas, you get it? Instead of Hamas, Hermas, because they only get it here. It's these little stupid jokes I learned. It's like, how's it go again, Mark? When they say, if they're trying to hijack the plane, I say, Assalamu alaikum, no pork chops, no bacon, pass the hummus, Muhammad. I can say that now. All right. No, I can't do it. I got to go home tonight. And Johnny, you know it's true. You know how the Persian community can be, right? Why is your hair so sick, Sunda June? Honestly. And I'm like, are you going to keep the beard, ma'am? All right. So how dare I make fun of them? Them, the new black meat. I can prove it. They shop and return everything the next day. But I got to change that act. Yeah, that's right. Watch my hour special because I found some new jokes that I hadn't seen in a couple of years. How many pounds ago was that, though? Like, honestly, somebody asked me, was I pregnant? I got really insulted. But that's okay. Watch it anyway. I'm not pregnant there, here, or nowhere. And we're having a great time. I'm having a great time. I hope you guys come in, chime in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can see more of Jimmy Carter and John Rudnick. All right, I'm Sunda Krumquist. Good night. Thank you.